We're talking about, do you need a real estate license to do wholesaling? And I just can't believe in 2025 we're still talking about this. So, ever since 2019, maybe 20, this leaking is coming out. Uh, Oh, watch out! Wholesaling is going to get banned or something like that. And there's just people running with it. Now, I'm all about informing the public, but the problem with when you lead with it as a scare tactic, it is a real problem. So I want you to understand this. The first thing we have to ask yourself is, where did you get your information from when we're specifically talking about getting a real estate license? And every one of you that come to me or even come to Zach or anybody else I talk to in relation to the show always go, well, so-and-so said I need to get a real estate license. And I always ask, number one, show me the state law, show me the statute. There's an extension with it. There's a number. It's different in every other state. Spell it out. Show me the law changes. Show me that have been made. And then I want you to ask two more additional questions because this will give you clarity to everything. Number one, is he or she that advised you on getting a real estate license, do they have a real estate license? That will tell you mostly what you need to know. 9 times out of 10, they usually have one because they're going to tell you it's going to protect you. So you're going to first research the law before you. Then number two, find out if they have a course to sell you. And then, so if they have a real estate license and they have a course to sell you, you already know where the agenda is being driven. Now, if I thought a real estate license would protect everybody in all 50 states and make this such an easier journey, I would just tell you to do it. But most of you are smarter than that. Are there specific states? Dude, guys, we're down to one. And I'm not going to even get in the weeds on it. We've done plenty of videos on it. I'm not here to scare you. So number one, where did I get my information from? Number two, do you have a real estate license? Number three, do you sell a course? Take that information and make a basic run-of-the-mill if you want to move forward and explore it. 9 times out of 10, you don't need to do it. You're thinking, Rick, what's the difference to have a real estate license or a course? A lot of times there's an agenda and they push it through. If I thought getting a real estate license would protect every one of you, including me and Zach, I would be covered in them. Do I have people that work with me have their real estate license? Yes, but they did not get them because of my business. They got them before. Maybe they were possibly a failed realtor or something like that. Now, let me give you full disclosure. If you got your real estate license and you tried the realtor route and you found wholesaling and you decided to make the change, I really don't have a problem with what you're doing. My advice is not to renew the license unless you are carrying a significant book of business and you're making at least 100 grand or more from that real estate license. Very few people, less than 1%. So equivalently, I will always tell you where I stand. I've yet to see a specific law where you get your real estate license, it protects you. And the word protect, what does that mean? Like, what does giving the license mean? Does that like make you immune from a lawsuit? Does it make you immune criminally? Obviously not. So we were going to deep dive into it and break this all down. So I want you to answer that first question. Now, I want you to answer this. Do you want to be licensed in real estate? Is it your ultimate desire to be licensed in real estate? Now, listen, the license for real estate was ultimately designed for realtors, period. End of story. Like, there's never been a license that's really been designed for a wholesaler or an investor. It just doesn't exist. You ask, hey, Rick, what's the purpose of licensing? Number one, it's to generate income for the state. That's hands down the number one. But what a politician will tell you, or the people that need to be that write all the legislation, is it is a way to regulate. And I do agree to a point, certain things need to be regulated. Like, would you want a doctor without a doctor's license? Obviously, that one's black and white because we're working on human beings. People could say investors work on humans too. You are correct there too. But we're not cutting people open with scalpels. We're not using needles. And we're not doing surgery, although sometimes it feels like it. So If we understand that, ask yourself before you get a license, why am I getting this? Is it your desire, or are you just taking somebody else's information? And you all complain about the media like shoving stuff down your throat. And then we turn around and the same thing's happening in wholesaling. So you've got to understand this. So next question, why do some influencers tell you to get licensed? Why? Why? What is the purpose? And I constantly hear this, well, it's for protection. No, it's not. It's mostly for compliance on a way a certain law is written. But the problem is, if we look at all 50 states, if you're going to take that approach, if one state has one little loophole, should you get do I got to get licensed in every state? This opens up so many cans of questions. Can I only do business in one state? Do I have to be licensed in every state? And by the way, these same people that tell you to get it, they will never give you clarity on what you're supposed to do when you do that. Can you imagine if you had to get a real estate license in every state? I would be in big trouble. I'm the first to admit it. And to me, it just seems like if the purpose of the license is to regulate, then let's talk about this. So number one, we're talking about people who go out there and tell you, watch out, wholesaling's being banned. By the way, that is a 100% lie. So they have to show me the law where it says it's banned, meaning you cannot do assignment of contract, period, under no circumstance, no way. Now, guys, listen. If you'll just read the Constitution, it's very clear. The federal law is on our side. States cannot interfere with your ability to enter into a contract. Now, states are getting bold, and yes, states are swinging the bat at it. But I've yet, and I'll stand on a hill on this, no one's yet to show me a wholesaler or an investor, let's use clarity words, that has been nailed for wholesaling without a real estate license. Not one example, not one. And I'm waiting. I've been here 23 years. Do people get arrested for committing felony crimes? Every day. I'm not talking about that. But if I keep clicking on all these headlines, all these videos, it says wholesaling's banned. Well, let me ask you, do you think these people are out for your own personal interest? Think about this. They're spreading the word. They're spreading all this drama and telling you wholesaling's banned. The reality, they clicked it for you so they could get their agenda across, so they could tell you how they're going to fix the problem for you. I see this coming a mile away. These are the same people that tell you, hey, submit me a deal, but you got to pay to submit the deal. And then if it's a big profit, I'm only going to pay you this much. I can't pay over that top. I just don't get it. So if we're really going to start regulating, look at this. Go to jail clickbait headlines. I constantly see videos talking about you're going to go to jail if you could go to jail wholesaling. How? Show me the specific law where I'm going to jail for wholesaling. It doesn't exist. It's complete scare tactics. And the same people that tell you they're fighting for you in wholesaling are the ones that are running these headlines and doing this. Listen, I'm all about everyone educating everybody in wholesaling. And I think for the most part, people do a good job. Are there some bad apples out there? Yes. But we have very qualified people with clickbait headlines. Jail? Like we're going to jail. I can't find a wholesaler who's going to jail, but they're telling you you're going to jail. They're telling me wholesaling is going to be banned, but they can't show me the specific law. No, show me in there where it says 100% wholesaling is banned and assignments are banned. You can't ban assignments. Number one, you're protected federally from it. Number two, it would take down every bank and every major insurance company in the United States. So guys, understanding there's always going to be a way to wholesale. This panic and this fear, I promise you, there is an agenda to get across to you. Listen, if I thought I had a one size that fits all fix, I would give it to you. The reality is we're going to have to police ourselves. And if you can't do it, you're probably not a good fit for wholesaling. But we got to stop these scare tactics. You're horrifying people. We're discouraging new people from coming in. We should be doing the opposite. We need brighter minds. We need people that think outside the box. I need resourceful people. But if we keep telling people it's illegal, it's banned, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's crazy. What this does, guys, is it creates mass confusion and we scare people. And when you come into wholesaling, you have to do the opposite of what most people do in society. You're actually going to have to take an incredible amount of risk. You're going to have to put yourself out there and you're going to have to be willing to fail on the job. Now, I want to show you an example here of how this confusion's created. This, you're going to jail and you have to get a license. Okay. So let's do this. Let me do a share here. Let me see if I can do this. I'll share a screen because this has been going around the internet everywhere. So I want you guys to look on here. So unless you've been under a rock, the state's attorney for Arizona put out a lawsuit, and there's a couple investors. I don't know anybody in this. It's a long lawsuit. You can look it up. It's very public. And keep in mind, when the state attorney comes after you, it's not good. Like, they pretty much have unlimited resources. It is much worse than a private lawyer coming at you. And if you read this, I want to say it's an 81-page complaint. Now, I've seen influencers come here and talk about it. I've seen lawyers come on here and talk about it. I've seen all sorts of people. And we all agree there's very bad actors in here. That is not even up for negotiation. Now, here's the problem. I've been through all 81 pages. I've even ran this through every AI thing in there. You're now being told, you ready for this? You are now being told that these wholesalers were bad actors and they did a bad thing. Here's the facts. See, this is what I mean. Now they're calling these investors wholesalers. Number one, they weren't wholesalers. I've researched it deeply. Number two, there's not one assignment of contract document entered into exhibit on this lawsuit. Number two, they tried to manipulate the title through power of attorneys. You guys know the documents you do this. These are typically novations and special type of agreements that confuse the heck out of the homeowner. This is why I don't do them. And then they tried to manipulate it to sell it for full retail. But I have people coming on the internet saying these wholesalers, they're not wholesalers. In fact, there are two distinct references to subject to and the word sub to. Now, I assume that's just short for subject to, but it doesn't matter. Creative financing, wholesalers. The thing is, guys, these were not wholesalers, but now people are throwing blight on wholesalers way. And now suddenly these bad actors are now wholesalers. There's not one reference to the word wholesaler in the entire lawsuit. There's not one exhibit or reference to an assignment of contract, any of that. There's no argument that there is a representation of the property that's going to be assigned or another investor stepping place. These were investors that basically manipulated paperwork through either subject to or creative financing, whatever it is, and tried to take it to the highest price and tried to work with a team behind the scenes, some fancy lawyers and title companies, which looks like they're in the crosshairs too. Remember, these are allegations. I don't know the truth of any of this. This is just the state's attorney. But check this out, guys. Now, us wholesalers are tied up into this. And my favorite part of this is they aren't even wholesalers. In fact, I've seen entire videos. These wholesalers got caught. They aren't wholesalers. There's no reference to a wholesale transaction in any of this. Now, they had over 100 transactions, but if their scheme was to wholesale and assign contracts and to purposely trick people as a wholesaler, the state attorney didn't see it that way. But now I have people coming out and basically throwing blight on wholesalers. Do you guys see how it's getting piled on us? And we're not even doing anything wrong. And suddenly this Arizona state's attorney thing is suddenly a wholesaler problem. It has nothing to do with wholesalers. They were sophisticated realtors playing behind the scenes. And guys, I want you to understand this. Even if they had a real estate license, it would not have protected them. Number one, they've just they just flat out lied to people. Deceit, fraud at its highest degree. Number two, they represented themselves as specialists, foreclosure specialists. That's ridiculous. I don't think there's really even a foreclosure specialist. The only people who get away with doing that are real estate attorneys because they're charging $500 to $600 an hour to do it. So I see realtors that are foreclosures experts. It doesn't mean squat. I would never go to someone and tell them I'm an expert on foreclosure. I'm not. We just simply try to buy the house, let them know we're going to make a profit one way or the other, hopefully, and I move forward. I never make people close that don't want to close, and you will have people like that in wholesaling. But guys, do you see how a current case law, there's people in our community that supposedly represent wholesalers, and then they turn around and basically say, oh, it's those wholesalers got nailed. There's not one reference. Show me a legal reference to the word wholesaler. Though it was very clear it was subject to. Very clear. I have no problem with subject to. But then they're trying to get, and guys, listen, here's the problem with subject to. I love them for the right people. I love them through probates mostly. And I've been over this time and time again. The problem with the subject to is you can't get title insurance. But a lot of these people will tell you, I have someone that will get you title insurance. You guys are now starting to see how that works out. You legally can't get title insurance. I'm sorry. As long as there's an outstanding debt on the property, they are not going to insure that. Are there tricks and trades to it? Yeah, they just ain't for the average person, and they're usually excluding stuff. And now we're seeing specialty companies, specialty lawyers, call them transaction coordinators. Oh, for the right fee, I'll show you how to do anything. And then until they get caught, they don't care. And this is the problem, guys. If I tell you you can't take a subject to a regular title company, heed the warning. There's a reason you're taking it to the existing debt, and no insurance company in their right mind is going to issue a title policy. Are there tricks to it? Yeah, I'm never going to teach it to you because to me, they're at best questionable. So if you have to open your own title company to make something work or like fund a private lawyer a ton of money, listen, when the chips hit, you're going to have to sort it out because in the end, they go to the investor. They go to the creative finance guy. They go to the wholesaler and go explain this transaction to me. And if you can't explain it, I promise you, ignorance is not a defense in the court of law. If anything, it makes you look more guilty. So heed the warning, guys. This entire Arizona lawsuit comes out. I have people going on public whatever, doing podcast stuff like that, saying they're wholesalers. They're not wholesalers. I don't know these people. These are allegations. I hope they're not true. But every time we have a problem, most of the laws that are broken, guys, are just common sense. If you're going to commit fraud, you're going to forge something, you're going to manipulate a document, there's already felonies on the books to protect people against these. Do you think a real estate license is going to protect you from that? Absolutely not. So I want you to understand that lawsuit. You guys can look it up. And I was fine with all the commentary. And then this last week, suddenly, all of a sudden, now they're wholesalers. Gee, do you see how the agenda fits? Guys, keep in mind the people that actually represent wholesalers and like give you like, you need to get both sides of the story because before me and Zach were here, you only got one side. Now that you're an opposing side, people get upset about it. The idea is the more information you get, the better off you are. Just like you're better off with competition. Without competition, you become very, very lazy. And we have to understand that. So, okay, I'm just looking at Compton's. So let's do this. Let's keep going here. I want to go. So the thing is, when people tell you you're going to go to jail, wholesaling's banned, I don't know why you want to get information from people that start out with an outright lie. I can't show you who went to jail, but you could possibly go to jail. You go to jail for jaywalking, technically, if you want to like get down to it. Why do we have to scare the crap out of people? I don't understand it. Keep this in mind, guys. Getting a real estate license is not a shield for you to do whatever you want. Period. Now, the idea of the real estate license is you comply with certain state laws. By the way, there's over 50 states. If you want to comply with one state that's gone rogue, knock yourself out. In Florida, it ain't going to help you a bit. Alabama, it's not going to help you. I can go on and on. What are you going to get a license in every state? Like, you're going to have to be super careful. Like, if you're that much, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Here's the reality. Bad people do bad things. And there's just some people, maybe it was the way they were raised. Maybe they had a really rough childhood. I don't know. I want to always find the good in people. But if we have bad cops, you have bad teachers, you have bad CPAs, why do you think there's going to be like no bad wholesalers? I want to clean the business too. Is this business more prone? Yes. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second. Think about this. Is wholesaling more prone to what we call predators? People who take advantage of people. I see the potential for it because people are in distress. They're losing their homes. But like, keep in mind, I didn't make anyone sign a mortgage. Maybe at some point we need to start holding banks responsible for putting people in the properties they really can't even afford. Now, I've always told you, if someone's in distress, you need to find out what your state laws are, and you need to honor whatever. If there's a redemption period, in the state of Florida, there's a 3 days right of rescission. But here's the reality. All the way up to the closing, if I can't help them out or convince them to move forward, I let them go. Because you're never going to force somebody to close on someone who's in a foreclosure process. You are never going to win that lawsuit. You are looked as the professional. They're looked as the victim. You're never going to win. And I'm not even going to talk about clouding titles, memorandums. That's the most ridiculous thing. It's really bad business. But everyone's looking for the piece of paper to manipulate anything. This is why the power of attorneys have run rampant. That's why in the state of Florida, unless you're a direct family, they don't like power of attorneys. Why? Because somebody decided to sell a bunch of courses on special techniques, innovation, stuff like that. And now, because of the high failure rate, people are clouding titles. Investors are getting sued left and right. I told you guys, a lot of the wholesaling flack we have on our industry, I'm just going to say a lot of it's coming from influencers. That if we talk about why our industry is so ripe for fraud, look at the marketing going on in our business. Like, listen, everybody pushes the headlines. I get it. But the reality is we're selling courses with 95% failure ratios. Listen, me and Zach have stepped up. We gave our solution. We just give it to you for free. And the ones that want to put the effort forward, that are willing to take a risk on themselves and do what very few people can do, they get rewarded. I sleep well at night. I'm fine with it. But we still have people shelling these courses, pushing them hard as they can, still to this day with everything going on, because people think it's going to be a fix-all. Hey, let's keep talking here. Let's talk about all the people in wholesaling that started when things were really good, 2-3 years ago, really specifically 3. People started getting into all sorts of digital currencies. Guys, why don't you Google and look up the latest NFT scam going on? Gee, let's look at all the people that were associated around these people. I mean, my God, seriously. There's a lawsuit out there now. You guys can look it up. I'm not going to give details on it, but it's a class action lawsuit. Once again, these are allegations. I don't know the personal parties, but they're claiming over $2 million was raised for a particular token, and they got nothing in exchange. Zero. And then here's what was supposedly represented from what I read in the lawsuit: lifetime access. You get front seat to all the seminars, the webinars. You get access to private parties, everything. Well, the deal went bust. Deal went bust. And guess what? Hey, sorry guys, it didn't work out. I mean, at what point are we going to cut this crap out? Dude, I could go through a dozen people that have done things like this, and I just never understood it. I never understood when somebody sold a lifetime. You get lifetime access to this course. Guys, do you know how many courses I bought with lifetime, or here's the code word for lifetime? Evergreen. That's a code word. It's a common word. It means forever and perpetuity. And guess what? Is it your life? Is it my life? Is it the product's life? A lot of this stuff is all gone. And this is, so we talk about regulating the industry. My God, maybe we need to start regulating everyone who's creating a course, and maybe they need to submit it to the state to review what their refund policy, what their success rate is. And then maybe we need to find a way to help people out. Me and Zach are 100% compliance on this. I'm sure there's some other people that are leaning towards that way, but guys, I'm just saying is we're all putting a black eye on the wholesaler. And then maybe we need to look at the people that are sending this message where you're going to jail, it's banned. They are 100% fabricated lies because there's no proof of it. And then we talk about this Arizona lawsuit, and then we blame them as wholesalers and find out they're not even really wholesalers. And I have people recording entire videos on this. The word subject to is used multiple times. The wholesaler wasn't used once. Assignment wasn't used once, but we took the black eye for it. I cannot accept these falsified facts like this. Listen, guys, whoever you're getting information, find out if they are licensed in real estate, and find out if they sell a course to fix your problem. It will open your eyes wide open. I promise you. I promise you. So, guys, you can look up the NFT thing. It's a class action lawsuit, $2 million down the drain. And by the way, I don't know the people personally involved in it. I don't know any facts. All I do is see the lawsuit. Now that's a class action lawsuit. Wasn't brought on by the state, and they have a right to fully defend themselves. But I'm just saying, when you start selling unlimited access, it is a mecca for fraud at its highest level, in my opinion. Not just these people, anyone else. How many people in the comments, how many people have bought a course to say they have lifetime access that they can't log in anymore? I have at least 15, by the way. Have I ever thought about pursuing the people? I'm not going to waste my time. I just vote with my time and my money going forward. It's absolutely ridiculous. There are companies that used to dominate the wholesale industry, told you, hey, you'll get it forever. It's not even close to what it used to be. It's absolutely crazy. I just don't understand. And like, everybody wants to punch the wholesaler in the mouth. And a lot of people are getting away from wholesaling. Like, I only work with realtors, and give me a break. Wholesaling was good enough for you to get rich and get you out of your rat race. And now nobody else should do it because you think it's sketchy. Come on, man. Like, I get it. We do need to clean this business up. I agree. So the question is, how do we do it? So bad people do bad things. No, it doesn't matter what industry, cops, teachers. Listen, there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than politicians. They have to lie for a living. Why? Because they have to get votes. If they don't get votes, they don't get in the office, and they lose a ton of money. And then we still endorse it. We have all these little protections. We regulate, we do all this stuff. And there's still trillions of dollars of fraud in it. So take it from the politician side. If we can barely regulate them, how are we going to regulate wholesaling? Let's keep going. Here's the reality is you can't over-regulate bad people out of wholesaling. You can put up all the requirements in the world. You can make people pay a $5,000 bond. You're still going to have the same percentage of people that are going to be bad people, AKA bad actors. There's no exception. You know what the difference is? It's you and me are going to have to pay all these ridiculous fees, submit all this ridiculous paperwork. Listen, go be a licensed realtor. It's an absolute nightmare. You should see the paperwork, the course, the ongoing education. And we still have record numbers of realtors that are committing felonies, that are going to jail, that actually go to jail. I can't find a wholesaler that went to jail for wholesaling, but realtors do the same thing. They'll commit fraud, they'll do forgery. It becomes a real nightmare for them. And so we have to understand, it's what about the people that are pushing all this wholesale stuff, and then you turn it around and then they're having issues with what they're doing? Oh, no, 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 don't look this way. That's just a private lawsuit. I'll clean it up. Okay. Okay. So, guys, I'm just telling you, if somebody markets you a lifetime or an evergreen course, I don't even care if it's outside of real estate or wholesaling, run. It is the snake oil salesman to get you to finally agree to buy their product. There is no way to fulfill it. There's no way. Like, think logically, like, okay, how long is this guy going to be around? How long is this industry going to be around? And every time I've come back to look at a product 10 years later, they're like, yeah, no, we sold the company. We don't honor it anymore. Or that guy is gone. That guy was a snake oil salesman. It gets like crazy. See, Jonathan puts it up here. I got a course with 100% money back guarantee for 20 years. Times got tight. I wonder if they're still around the process. So, as you guys know, a lot of times these people's refunds are very, very, they're just vague. And let me give you a little disclosure how refunds work, because I'm very familiar with the inner workings of this business. Whatever your credit card company policy is, that's their refund policy. If it's 30 days, you get 30 days. So influencers highlight it because they have to, because if you charge it back on the credit card, they're going to lose automatically. So that's how it works. So like these refund policies, most people hide behind them. I saw a post the other day on like how to maximize your income through coaching products. You guys aren't supposed to see this stuff. It's like basically how to beat the system to never have to refund anyone. So, wouldn't it be great if you found out what each course's success rate was, what the failure rate was, which would be inverse of that, and what the refund, like what the actual number is? It makes such perfect sense, but you'll never hear an influencer go, yeah, I'm all on board on that. Yeah, definitely. We need to clean up. They're all about cleaning up the wholesaling business, but they will not clean up their own crap with their offers. It's absolutely nuts. Means I cleaned it up. We just give you freewholesaling.com. I'm told I'm nuts for doing it. I don't care. I am a little bit crazy. That's how I operate. I'm not an average person. I don't think like an average coach. I know you guys have been doing this way for like 20 plus years. Keep going. Dinosaurs eventually kept doing it, and you know what that happened. At some point, it's not going to exist anymore because you don't need it. It's ridiculous. Be authentic with people and partner up with them, and be a 50-50 partner. Don't charge them and then limit them. Drives me nuts. But we're talking about getting licenses. Let's get back to the license. Guys, I tell you, if you ever read into these refund policies or like these lifetime memberships, ask someone for their lifetime membership policy. You can't. There's nothing you can put. Honestly, I've never seen. I believe that whoever regulates the advertising, I just think it should be banned, because it's BS, guys. You're never going to get a lifetime. Honestly, if I thought I could get lifetime anything, I would take it if I thought they could fulfill it. You can't do it. There's a cost to keep things up and running, keep websites up and running, keep data running. Can you imagine if I did X leads? Yeah, you're a lifetime member. I would be broke. I'm going to just take your money and disappear. When people do that, they're telling you up front, I'm going to take your money and I'm just going to disappear. That's why we have former wholesale influencers that have fled the country. Quite popular places. You can look them up. And they always have a reason why they left. Always, they'll never tell you the truth. All I do is look at the lawsuits. I look at the lawsuits. I got it. You took the money. You didn't fulfill it. You took your cash and ran to a country where you didn't have to be extradited to the United States. Awesome. Love when people just, I love when people just do all this stuff to like, I thought you made a ton of money. Is it really worth $1 million, $2 million to take it and run and then go live in a foreign country and yank your family out all over? I mean, I get when people want to change and they want to find a tax structure that's a haven for them. Like if you want to do that, that's your choice. But like, I just don't like when people plead people. So let's get back to licensing because that I don't want to get ticked off today. I want to help people out. So we can't regulate people out of wholesaling. It just doesn't work. If I thought it'd work, I'd be the first one to do it. And if you're going to do it, let's get a wholesale license or an investor license. If I guess you're technically going to do it, because taking a real estate license isn't going to go over one thing that a wholesaler should or should not do. I know. I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll fix it for us. And here's the obvious that you guys have to understand. Most laws already protect homeowners from obvious crimes. They're already on the books. And they're 100% enforceable. If someone commits flat out fraud, let me go over the definition of fraud. A fraud is when you materialistically hide facts from a party. If they knew, they probably wouldn't move forward with the transaction. Hell, I see bank fraud from real estate investors every day. Just go on YouTube. They'll tell you, do not show your bank this. Do not tell them this. Do not have a private agreement. Do you know if you have a private agreement on a real estate transaction, I don't care if it's public, private, and there is a third-party lender, either private or like a public bank, you are committing bank fraud, 100%. There's no other way to read the law. It's black and white. If the bank knew you had a second mortgage with the seller between the buyer and you did not disclose it to the bank, and that was a material part of the contract, you have hit a material fact and you've committed a felony. Period. Long time ago in 2006, I went to write a second mortgage because someone was struggling to come up with the payment. They loved the house so much, they wanted it. And I sat down and I instructed the title company to prepare a second mortgage. And then when the attorney got to the table, he went to disclose that fact to the lender. And the lender says, if you do that, not only will we not fund it, we are going to go after you for bank fraud. Now, I didn't completely know it. I was a new investor at the time, but I'm just here to tell you is once I found out, I just pulled back, I negotiated the price down and I moved on. But now we have people that are actively telling people to hide information from the bank. And guys, if somebody has to tell you to hide something, that's like hiding something from your spouse. It's just not good. There's a reason people hide something to manipulate, to get their side of the outcome the way they want it. And if the bank truly wanted that, they'd go ahead and advertise it on their website. So you have to be careful what you wish for when you do that. So most of these crimes you see people getting arrested for is flat out fraud when you hide material facts and you purposely went out of your way to hide the material facts so it would not affect their decision. If you're doing that, it's fraud and you're probably committing a felony. Number two, if you forge someone's name, it's a major crime. It's another felony. And those are the two most common things people get nailed for in real estate. And then people go, oh, the wholesaler, well, these wholesalers get away with murder. We've got to create all these regulations. No, the laws on the books are already sufficient enough to deter people from committing crimes. Is it really worth forging someone's name to get what, another $30,000, $50,000 to sit in jail for 3 to 5 years? I don't even know what the penalty is. Maybe I got a lawyer on here to tell me. Like, if I got paid $10 million, it wouldn't be worth it. There's not enough money in the world to rip you out of your current life, pull you away from your family, be subjected to other felons, and just be miserable for years to come on end. What could be worth it? Now, if you do it because you followed someone's advice and you thought you could get ahead doing it, that doesn't make you innocent either. It makes you naive. But I promise you, when you sit in front of a judge, they're going to tell you should have known better. And ask yourself, do you feel uncomfortable doing this? And that's all the test that you have to tell yourself. So, guys, someone commits fraud, someone commits forgery, the books are the laws on the books are already there to stop it. Does everybody understand that? So like, how are we going to regulate and make wholesalers? So now we're going to tell them like script wise what they're going to say, what they're going to do. Like, where do we go with this? And I want you to keep this in mind too. This is the interesting part. Say you're going to get your license, okay? What disclosures are needed going forward? Let me know in the comments if you know the disclosures needed. Um, um, the disclosures. I'm telling you, a big part of the people I deal with in my wholesale businesses, locally and virtually, they don't want to deal with realtors. The minute I tell them I'm a licensed realtor, they're out the door. I don't want to deal with a realtor. They constantly lie to me. They tell me I'm going to get one price. I wait 6 months later and I wind up at a lower price than what I would have got it from the wholesaler. That's right. Hey, so we have to disclose. What do we have to disclose? Number one, you have to tell everybody you're licensed. You have to tell your mom. You have to tell your dad. You have to tell your kids. You should tell every influencer you're licensed just to cover your butt. The intention of this law is everybody knows 100%. Do you know how annoying that is? Now, if you're a licensed realtor and that's what you want to do, you should be doing that anyways. But if you're like me and you want to be a wholesaler and you don't want to be a realtor, the last thing I want to do is tell everybody I'm licensed. Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's so stupid. Listen, at least a lawyer takes the bar. Not an easy exam, not for the average person. And then it pertains to the law, it pertains to case law, and they learn and they have to study. And I want a lawyer that can pass that. But there's still bad lawyers out there. You take the real estate license and they're going to teach you one iota about wholesaling, how it operates, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to. It's not going to help you. It's going to go over EMD deposits and stuff like that. Guys, you're getting to the point where you're letting everybody tell you what to do. Don't get me started on an EMD deposit type of deal. Yes. Does EMD matter? Yeah, it only matters in the seller's eyes. Period. Now, I know there's some particular laws in some states or something, but for the most part, guys, I did hundreds of transactions with $0 for EMD. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I took care of the homeowner and I got their house sold, period. And if you do that, most people don't give a crap what you put down. But now you're being told you can't do $10, which I agree. $100 looks a little sketchy. Okay, tell me when. Tell me what the number needs to be to make it okay for you. 200, 250, 300, 500. Is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? It gets ridiculous after a while. Remember, the deposit does not show your intent. I don't understand that. So there's an argument about, your past history is a great indicator of, what your future is going to hold. Okay. Well, that means anyone who committed a crime and went to jail, it means they're going to do it forever. We can't make assumptions on people like that. Now I get it. In the beginning, I signed almost all my contracts. I guess I'm guilty for not disclosing that to everyone, but I told everybody I'm here to make a profit. Sometimes we buy them ourselves. Sometimes I sell it to my partners and I let everybody, if they have a problem with that, I don't enter into a contract with them. I don't know why we can't get the common sense part of that across. Guys, the more you lie and the more you cheat people, the worse it's going to get down the road. So the more honest and authentic you are with people up front, the easier it is. But the problem is we get back to disclosure. So I have to disclose to everyone. So once I tell him, and then say I send out some marketing material and on the bottom in big bold letters is I'm a licensed realtor. On my postcards, I'm a licensed realtor. On my bandit signs, on my business cards. Heck, even when I go to my high-end mastermind where everybody like makes me feel so good because you paid 10, 20, 30,000 in to find out that 99% of the people never renew because it's just a big sales pitch. Here we are. Here we are again. If you want to be an effective wholesaler, you have to disclose everything. Do you think it's advantageous to have a licensed in real estate on all your marketing materials? I already know the answer to this one. It is a resounding no. You're going to get more questions about your license than you actually being a wholesaler and helping them out. And that's my problem with this is, remember, you're getting a license supposedly to protect you, but no one will tell you what it's going to protect you from. It might protect you from one statute in one state. What about the other 49 states? What am I going to do? Am I going to get licensed in every one of them? Every time something pops up, do I need to go get a new license? Guys, you're going to chase down a rabbit hole. The federal law protects you. Do I want anyone on here to get sued? Absolutely not. But at some point, someone's going to have some case law, and an innocent wholesaler is going to be nailed to make an example of. And that's the person where, if we created a fund, I have no problem donating that fund. I'll back anybody else who wants to do it, because that's how you make change in the wholesaling industry, not these other ways. We can't keep telling everyone they're going to go to jail. It's going to be banned. I love wholesaling. I don't understand why people attack wholesaling. I understand educating, and you can educate it. And most of their information is really good, except for like the headlines, because I get scared. I'm like, oh my God, I better stop wholesaling. According to this video, it looks like it's banned, or I actually might go to jail. And so getting the license, guys, it's going to majorly, in my opinion, this is my opinion, it's going to hinder your wholesale operations, because you have to disclose it to everyone. And then let me ask you this. When I go see, say, a motivated seller, are you a realtor or are you a wholesaler? I'm confused. And I don't know. I deal with a lot of elderly client. You can disclose them all you want. You can have them sign whatever. At the end, if they go, I thought Ricky was a real estate agent, and now I found out he's a wholesaler, and I'm confused, and she went and found a family attorney. He's like, that's it. I'm going to go after this licensed real estate person, because they're trying to buy the house, and I'm going to hold them to the laws and regulations of a licensed person for real estate. Uh-oh. What happens now? I don't care how much you have disclosed them. All they hear is licensed real estate, and that's who you are. It's confusing. So when I go in to buy someone's house, there's never a question who I am. I am here to buy the house 100%. There's no misinterpretation. I ask everyone, would you like a licensed real estate agent to represent you? No, they all say, most part, they say no, because I'm looking for a particular type of client that needs to sell their house. Does everybody understand that? So if we know that, so what happens, I want you to understand this. What happens if somebody has a problem with you as a licensed real estate person? What happens? So right now, me as a wholesaler, if you got a problem with me, you can still go to state attorney or whatever, but you have to find a specific law you're breaking. Now, if you're breaking current laws on the book, you're going to get nailed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor, a wholesaler, creative financing guy. And those laws are to protect human beings. And we all agree with them. Like, nobody can be forging your name, you can't make statements that if all parties knew about it, they wouldn't move forward. And that's one of the accusations on wholesaling. And I agree. They should know that you were there to buy the house. But when we start talking about people's intent, it gets a little bit like, I'm not a lawyer to get in the weeds on that, nor am I going to like really comment on it, because I can do one thing one day and something the other. And it just, like, why are we going to put such restrictions on brand new wholesalers? But it's funny, the people that forged their way through wholesaling, they didn't have any of those restrictions, and they'll probably openly tell you like it wasn't that big of a deal. There are some deals that just don't work out. You just got to walk away or refer them to a realtor. That's it. You're never going to make somebody sell you your house. You can't do it. So if we understand that, we have to understand is somebody has a complaint about you. That guy made a $36,000 assignment fee. I don't like it. I'm going to report it. Guess what? You now have to stand or sit. It's sitting, because I've seen this. You have to sit in front of a board of realtors. And guess what they're comprised of? They're all almost exclusively brokers. They don't like wholesalers. They want wholesalers to conform to be real estate agents. That's the ultimate goal of NAR, if you haven't checked that out. And the best part of this is um, you're not going to win, and nobody will give you clear. I have an example in the state of Colorado where someone made a $90,000 assignment fee. They got reported by the board. They thought it was unfair. From what I've told, the other realtor reported him, and they reneged the entire transaction, and they just gave him a small real estate commission because they said you were acting as a licensed real estate person and not as a wholesaler. Do you see how the confusion goes one side or the other? Listen, this is my interpretation of it, but like if I have an elderly person and I tell them I'm a licensed in real estate, that's all they're going to remember. And that's all. And like, here's the biggest cure to make sure you never get sued in wholesaling. And I don't know why people don't talk about this. Take care of the damn homeowner. Bend over backwards, disclose to them that you're buying the house. You might be buying it yourself because some of you have the capability, or you're going to sell it to one of your partners and you're going to facilitate to make sure that deal gets funded on time and gets done. Take care of them. Bend over backwards. Period. I've never had a problem in wholesaling. And once you take care of the homeowner, you're in great shape. But think about this. Say I take care of the homeowner. I get licensed in real estate because someone told me you better get it. You're going to go to jail, or wholesaling is banned. And then maybe the title company or the realtor didn't like what I do and they report me to the board. What do? You don't have a choice. You have to show up to the hearing and they're going to pass judgment on you. And they don't have to comply with the law. They have their own set of morals and ethics, which most realtors, I'm going to be honest, they don't agree to it. They don't even conform to them themselves. And now they're going to make you do it. And yes, they have the right to jump in and make a decision on your assignment fee, because what their ultimate goal is for you guys to give up a big chunk of your assignment fees to the broker. That's my opinion, and get you to conform to NAR. NAR's, they had 1.5, 1.6 million realtors. It was a huge cash cow. Did you know in 2024, almost 70% of realtors didn't even sell one house? I mean, guys, probably NAR will come after me for it. You want to talk about a Ponzi scheme? That's one of the worst I've ever seen. So the decline in membership is rapid since their lawsuits. And now NAR's kind of, if you follow Zillow and all this stuff, NAR's selling out their own realtors. So like if you go on Zillow, say if I was a realtor and I listed a property and it's on Zillow, NAR takes the information. You only have 24 hours to put up the listing, and then they do a syndication, XDS, whatever it is. And the syndication is so they can sell leads. So if I go on Zillow, you're going to see Tracy Smith has this property. It's great. You got to go through her. I have it listed. And then all these junk fees get added on it. And then the only way Tracy gets access to that lead is she has to pay Zillow, which I'm sure is in bed with NAR. I don't get into like behind the weeds. And like NAR is actually taxing their own members and making them become extinct. It is so bad. It is so corrupt, in my opinion. But once again, they want to. Do you really trust that? Or now, keep in mind, NAR does not do the licensing. It's at a state level. But I'm just saying, once you get your license, you are target number one for NAR. They want you so bad. I believe NAR is going to have less than 1 million members in 2025. If it hasn't already happened, I'm sure it's close to it. But you have to answer the board. Let's go to the next one. What other things do I have to do with a license that nobody else will tell me about? Let's think about this. Guys, can you think of anything else what you need for a license to keep it going? Yes, you have to pay your state fees. It's not a ton of money. It's probably $300 to $500 to take the course. And I don't know, probably $150 to keep your license going a year. Remember, you don't have to be part of NAR. I'm not talking about that. But comes the next thing is anything you open your mouth with and someone complains. Oh, and who do they complain to? They bring it to the board of realtors. So you have this thing called E&O, errors and omissions. You have to pay insurance on this crap. I've watched more realtors get sued for like, I don't even know what they did wrong. And you're in such a litigious society. If they think you did one thing wrong and you piss off the wrong person, they go after you. And they're going after the insurance policy. So on average, it's $100, $150 a month to make sure you don't say the wrong thing. And you got to pay it through your broker. And remember, the broker, you got to submit all your HUDs, everything, even even your flipped properties, even your assignments. Guys, I don't know about you, but I didn't get into this to submit paperwork to a new boss. Business is hard enough as it is. So errors and omissions, you ever thought about that? Because once you're licensed, you're fair game for this. You say one wrong thing, they can go after you and submit it to the board. It's crazy. And don't get me started. They're all going to try to hook you in the NAR fees. You have to be part of this. And remember, these are the same people that are running their own members under the bus. You see, because how Zillow works is whoever pays the most for that lead gets it. They basically white label you out of you doing the listing. When you go on Zillow, nobody even knows that you're the listing agent anymore. I don't, NAR owns the information and they tell you that they don't protect you. And so why do I want to get licensed through this type of structure? I've already shown you how politicians are beyond corrupt. Real estate, in my opinion, could even be 10 times worse. So let's talk about this, guys. I am popping off about this because it annoys me. So Jorge is a good point I missed on this. You want to know why every influencer tells you shouldn't cold call anymore. You shouldn't text. They're probably licensed for real estate. And if you're licensed for real estate, you cannot touch the DNC list, period. So, by the way, the cold calling by a wholesaler has already been tested by state statutes and laws. And a recent case in the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to mention a name again. Same person who's in a class action lawsuit. How ironic. I don't know the person, but they tried to nail this person for cold calling, and they determined that they didn't have anything to sell because they weren't a licensed real estate person. They weren't licensed in real estate. And as a wholesaler, you have the right to call. But wait a minute, cold calling's illegal. You can't do it. Listen, number one, once again, when you're steered somewhere, say, are you licensed in real estate? What state? Yes or no? And number two, do you have a course that sells something to cure it? You're going to get 100% compliance in every one of these, period. It's end of story. That's why me and Zach created X Leads. It is made for investors, by investors. That's our sole focus as wholesalers, period. End of story. I already tell you, if you have a real estate license, don't do the marketing part of X Leads. It's not meant for you. I did not make a realtor section. Sorry. I didn't do it. So Jorge is so right. If you have a real estate license, cold calling's dead. Texting's dead. Actually, door knocking's dead. Oh, I'm sure someone will sell you PPC or PPL to get it going. By the way, I'm not saying those don't work, but as a newbie, that's a tough one to start out. Who's got 10, 20 grand to start out on marketing per month? It's unrealistic. And all the people that tell you they started out wholesaling, they started out broke just like me. And that's what we all love about wholesaling. Nobody denies that. I'm just saying we can't say it was good for me, but now you can't do it. And I'm going to find a way to make sure you can't do it with a scare tactic. We can't do that. So guys, if you get your license, say bye-bye to cold calling, say bye-bye to texting, say bye-bye to door knocking. Honestly, you can't even do reverse driving for dollars. And driving for dollars, you probably can't even look at the house. Man, I'm just telling you, somebody show me the reason why you get your real estate license to do wholesaling. Give me a valid argument. It's going to protect you in this one state statute. Oh, there's 2 or 3 states. Oh, there's a huge wave. There's not a huge wave. 95% of the United States, you're perfectly fine to wholesale. Can I go through any law and find something that might be slightly interpreted? Yeah. Is it going to stop it? Give me a break. It's absolutely there's certain parts in Florida where you're not allowed to fish on the ocean. It's ridiculous. Do I stop fishing? Do I tell you fishing's illegal? Fishing's banned. You're going to go to jail to fish? No. Just give you the map. Just got to work around these spots. It is what it is. Do I agree with it? No. Get me started on this thing. So let's go. What can we do to help protect ourselves? Because I believe we all in the industry agree that we need some help. So I would love to know in the comments. You guys can put it in the comments. What do you think we can do to help the wholesaling industry? Number first, we got to stop scaring the crap out of people. Stop using these ridiculous, the word jail. The word jail implies such a fear in people. If you don't have a particular wholesaler that's proven that it's a wholesaler that did assignments and went to jail because he specifically did assignment because the state forbid it, then release that video. But I'm telling you, that video is going to be a long, long time coming because it ain't coming. And if it does, my solution is to create a fund that's monitored by a third party. People with bigger, deeper pockets, like me and other people, will all contribute into it. We have no control of it other than deciding who gets to use that fund for legal defense. Now, as long as they haven't broken the law and they've done everything above board, I'm all about defending them. It might cost a couple $100,000. That's, in my opinion, the one thing that would make a change to this business. So if you guys have a way that we can do this, I'm wide open. But that's my suggestion. So what can we do? Number one, can we do association for wholesalers? Sounds good in theory. It's not easy. If I thought it was the solution, I would offer it. The problem with it is then you get into the politics of wholesaler. Going, who's going to be on the board and what are the fees going to be? And then we're going to have a course. And listen, the last thing you're going to get wholesalers to do is agree on more regulation, more paperwork, and more potential. I've seen some of these kicked around. I don't think they're the worst idea, but the problem is they've been kicked around for 3 or 4 years with waiting lists and nothing's ever happened. So nobody believes it anymore. And I've put my 2 cents into it, although it's hard to get wholesalers to agree to do something. And I get it. People get flack for it. I wouldn't want the flack either. But the problem is are we just going to create another obstacle for people? Are we going to how do we truly help people out? And I am wide open for getting with anybody that can help us create a solution for doing it. And so I've offered one solution, some sort of fund where people get together, we raise the money, and then we give it to a third party that we entrust. And the only say we have in it is who gets to use it. Meaning if someone has broken the law, I'm not going to let that money be used to defend them. It's not for criminal defense. It's for a legitimate case where a politician decided to push forward this ridiculous law in a state that basically fights against federal law, and then we would defend them. As long as the homeowner was on board and they're fine with it, as long as the buyer was good, everything was clean, the title company was good. Let's say, because we get that case of law, it's like that's your paper shield to go around and defend other wholesalers. That's how you make massive change. But I can't do it by myself. I gotta put like 250 grand in a fund. That I'm fine. Let's throw 10, 20, 30 grand each and create a fund. And that it doesn't matter if the people giving into it, do we like each other? It doesn't matter. I like all people. I like anyone who loves wholesaling. I'm just not a big fan of people who scare people out of wholesaling. Wholesaling can't be good enough for you, but it's bad for people to start now. Do we need to get better at it? Absolutely. I 100% believe. So what can we do? We've already talked about the association. It's convoluted because you have to get all these people, then everybody wants to steer the ship, and then we get into politics and it defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do. And that's the problem. And that's why it's just an idea that's just floated around forever. And you can't be throwing out their list and never do anything with it, because then the public loses trust in it and they don't like, what are we ever going to do anything with it? So my idea would be to raise a fund. If someone ever wants to get together, I'm an easy guy to reach out to. I'm right here in Florida and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, but I need more help to do that. And that's something that could be done in less than 90 days, most likely. And we get a lawyer to kind of, for a nominal fee, to set up whatever it is we need to do. And then the money sits in an escrow that's verified, that's audited. And if it sits over 2 years and earns interest, that's my goal. And then here's the best part is whatever interest that money earns, we should give back to the wholesaling community. Either you just have a one-day event where we get everybody in wholesale. And here's the really cool part. What if we got wholesalers together with opposing views? Well, guys, we're fine. Opposing views are good. It's what makes healthy conversations. We got to stop all being on one side. Like we see this in politics. It's ridiculous what this country is going through. And now we're starting to see division in wholesaling, and I don't agree with it. There's a million ways to do this. How I wholesale is going to be different from how a lot of other people do it, and it's fine. And we've gotten into this, my way's right and your way's wrong. No. We all have something good to offer. We just got to stop. I don't know. Life's too short, guys. We all agree wholesaling has changed our lives. How we go about it, a whole different story. So what about the fun? So let's start with you. What can you do? Number one, how many of you on this live have reached out to your state representative and talked about your concern with wholesaling in your state? Do you know who your representatives are? Have you met with them? Have you written a letter? In fact, how many influencers have met or even know their state representatives and talked to them about wholesaling? If you truly represent the wholesaling community, you should have already done this. And if you're thinking about doing an association, this should be the first step when you do it. Now, my son, even when he was a teenager, had this idea. And now we got grown people that just want to skip. And we go straight to, give me some money and we'll figure it out later. No, if everybody would write a letter, if everybody would set a meeting, it's not that hard. I live in a small town. Within 30 days, you can meet with your state representatives. Doesn't cost you a dime, and you can voice your concerns. You write a letter and you meet with them, and then you get a local news person to cover you to bring light to what's going on in the industry. But nobody wants to do it. We all want someone else to do it for us. It's a lot of work. I agree. It's a lot of work. So we have to start with you. The next thing you can do, police yourselves. You don't need me. You don't need Zach. You don't need anyone else telling you. You know what's right and wrong. And you got to get the word out. And so when you guys go to your local RIA meetings, maybe you can have where someone gets together and just talks about the ethics of wholesaling, how to do it the right way. And most of the stuff we talk about is just common sense stuff. It's common sense. I can't stress this enough to you. We don't need paperwork. We don't need courses to tell us what is right and wrong to do. So I've already told you on the highest level, if we created a fund, and the money's put in, it doesn't matter who donates to it. I don't want lobbyists or anything like that. People that truly care about wholesaling, because that's where you're going to find out who really cares and who doesn't. And then you have a lawyer who would represent or hire the lawyer, write the paperwork, put the money in escrow, let it earn interest in a money market. And then honestly, if we don't have anybody battled in 5 years, then I believe we give the money to a charity and make the best use of it. That's my idea. That's my solution. I'm not going to sit here and bitch about the problem all day because it's easy to do that. And that's not the right way to do it. I can voice my concerns. I'm guilty for having a massive love for wholesaling. I don't like it seeing attacked. We have got to stop these daily attacks on it. I get it. Politicians are coming after, they're writing laws, but like, do you really think we can just stop them in their tracks by like organizing? And like the problem is it has to start at an individual level and then like a regional level, then a state level. But if we're just going to jump to like a national organization, like I just don't know how you're going to do it. Like, so why don't we start with the states that are the absolute worst and start working onto it? Now, I don't even know how lobbyists works. I've heard people argue the 501c3 and what you can do with a lobbyist, stuff like that. This is the problem: is most of the organizations, there's just no plan to attack. You can tell just by the conversations we're having with them. So the idea is if we had a defense fund, I think it would be awesome. And then the idea is if nobody in 5 years gets done, we just donate the money to the charity. Like that's the best thing to do. Because after 5 years, they're going to do it probably means they're never going to do it, which is great news for you, great news for me. And then we can all move about wholesaling legally, ethically, and without the fear of going to jail or the word saying wholesaling's banned. And guys, these are my reasons why I don't think you should get a real estate license if you're going to be a wholesaler. I can't find the advantage. And I can't find anyone that will debate me and say, hey, listen, this is the reason why you got to get the real estate license. Are there some benefits? Yes. But I believe the cons outweigh the pros when it comes to wholesaling. Now, I'm only speaking as a wholesaler. I have no idea how it would work with creative financing, although I just can't see how that would help you out at all. And I don't know how it would help you as a fix and flipper or even like a landlord, but that's not my argument. And I'll let somebody else stand on that industry. I am a huge advocate for the wholesaling community. Do I represent everybody in the wholesaling community? No, probably not, but I don't care. At the end of the day, I want to see this business survive. And right now you've never had a better time to do it in 2025. But if I go on the internet, it just seems like doom and gloom every day, every day's life. So clarification, the Arizona state attorney's lawsuit, I've heard multiple people say they were wholesalers. They were not wholesalers. At least the state attorney didn't view it in their eyes as them. They interpreted them as subject to. And basically, they are bad actors. They're terrible people. Disgusting. But please don't put the black eye on the wholesaler, man. Like, that's where I am going to draw the line. So I have an announcement to make, guys. With popular demand, and I'm doing this before April 1st because I don't believe anything on April 1st. XLeads. If you go to xleads.com right now, you get a 7-day free trial version. You also get 1,000 free skip traces. That's right. You can go take your government list. You can basically download your list and upload them inside of XLeads, and I'll give you 1,000 for free, no questions asked, and you can export them, take them out, and do whatever you want with them. Try to find another software that'll do that for you. I'll hold my breath while they do it. Guys, check it out. I'm willing to put it out there, show you how great it is. You already know it. We dominate in pricing. Nobody even comes near us. You also get your Ninja Go high-level account.